Alrighty then, it is the Richmond Gooners podcast, match day 20. It's Saturday, February 4th, coming to you from Gus's Bar and Grill, as always, in our third location here. I am Ryan here with Tom.
Hello, hello.
And with Joey.
Fuck.
And with Will.
Yeah.
And that about sums it up, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, that happened. So the
They
wild
were
thing,
who we thought they were.
yeah. Well, now it's over the music.
Oh.
We'll get that later.
Yep.
So, yeah, you know, the funny thing is, this is like, we're fucking in
Is that a hard stop to the music?
I mean, I'll fade it in the mix. Don't worry about it. Like, this has no effect on that.
All right.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like Groundhog Day was 2 days ago, and it's like Groundhog Day all over again from last year. Last year we catch Everton when they're in a horrible run of form,
Gifted them a win yet
and
again.
gifted them a win, and then they can't win anything after, and it feels like we're going down the same fucking road.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We are, and I know I'm going to give Will a minute because I know Will's got some stuff to say too, but we are. So do you remember when we lost to Man United earlier this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the theme of my whole feeling after that game?
That we were the better team.
That we
Yeah.
were the better team, but my feeling was that I was unbothered. I must have used that word.
That was the name of the
25
podcast.
times,
Yeah.
and that's the name of the episode.
Unbothered.
I have a similar feeling today. It feels like all the stars and planets aligned.
None of our players played
haven't-
good.
Yeah, we haven't had a meaningful game in basically 2 weeks. You know, it's always difficult playing against a team fighting against relegation. Plus, they have a new manager, so there's the new manager bounce.
Yep.
Almost all of our players played below their normal level.
Yep.
And that just doesn't usually happen. Maybe one or two players play below their normal level, but today it feels like several players played below their normal level. These things happen during the course of a 38-game league season.
I mean, they do, but
these
like,
things happen. Losses happen. You're never going to win them all.
Yep.
Right? It's possible to not lose any, but only one team has done that. I think we'll bounce back and we'll be fine. We're still 5 points up on City with the same number of games that played as them. But our game in hand, technically our game in hand, is also against Everton.
Yeah, but that's the one coming up later.
It'll be
the
the one that's coming up. These things happen. These things happen. I don't think it will turn into a long, bad run of form.
Well, no.
I know we've had questionable Februaries in years past. January, February has been a tough period for us in years past. There was one year where we lost every game in February. But you know, I'm relatively not necessarily bothered, even though this wasn't a great performance today. I'm relatively unbothered. I'm gonna throw it to Will.
Yeah, because I do want to talk a lot about this game, but I'm going to start something out first. And Tom's going to hate this a lot. But, you can say what you will about this player, but there's no denying that how great of a player he was, the impact he's had on every team he's ever played on, including his national team. And that's Mesut Ozil. He's my all-time favorite player, and it has been reported that he has retired from the game. And so for me, that one hits because I followed him since he was 17, and it's just it sucks when a person that you've idolized your whole life is now gone from the game that you truly cherish. And
Well,
love.
and in the fashion in which he went out too.
Yeah, that too. But anyway, his Arsenal career was great. 8 total trophies.
Until it wasn't.
8 total trophies, 4 FA Cups, 4 Community
I
Shields.
think he means as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then close to 80 assists, just over 40 goals. So, say what you will about him. The man brought us trophies. The man brought us excitement. The man brought us goals.
Well,
great
at the time that we
passes.
signed him, that he was our record signing, and it was a sign of invigoration into the club. I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, obviously it ended the way it did, but no, I mean, he was an impactful guy for the majority of the time he was with us.
Yep. So that's all I have.
I agree with that. And we know Tom has checked out for a bit. I will say I think he served Arsenal well throughout his time here. I will always hold his friendship with Erdogan against him because I don't believe that that's a good dude and not a type of dude that you want to have as a close friend and associate with.
Yeah, that's fair.
But as a player for Arsenal, you know, again, he was one of my favorite players too. I don't love necessarily talking about players that used to play for Arsenal, but this is an exception can be made because if he's retiring, as is being reported, then he meant a lot to Arsenal during the time he was here, especially in the former years, if not necessarily the latter years. That he was there, and he let's see. I think his best assist tally in a season was 19.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It's one off of Thierry Henry's record.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. That kind of embodies what he brought to the team during his prime years with us.
Yep.
But back to today, I mean, I think as you alluded to in the open, what sums up today is this.
They are who we thought they were.
Yes.
And we let them off the hook.
Let him off the hook.
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't necessarily as a whole disagree with you that it's not necessarily the biggest deal. Mm-hmm. But you kind of mentioned this during the game, is that winning games like these is kind of what title winners do. Like we said this about the Leeds game earlier in the season. We played like shit and managed to win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's the end of the world that we lost.
It's
but
not.
It would have meant a lot had we won. The game wasn't meaningless.
Yeah.
Like if we'd won a game like this, we had 70% of the ball, but not a ton of it was effective. But if you managed to win a game like that, that's one of those like things, because the matchups against the top 6 teams, anything can happen, and you kind of it's just they're toss ups. But
but it's the games against relegation fodder that can prove to be the toughest sometimes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like those are the games that you kind of got to pull through.
Well, I'm not even necessarily going to agree with that. I think against tough games against very lowly opposition, and I don't even necessarily consider Everton lowly opposition because their talent that they have on their team belies, or their league position belies the talent that they have on their team.
And I agree with that.
However, I just think in the course of a season, if you play 5 or 6 games like that, you just have to win more of them than you don't win. So like the Leeds game, and Leeds are kind of down there in that area. The Leeds game that we played, we were the worst team in that game,
and we won.
And we won the game.
So if you're trying to average it out, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. If you're trying to average it out, I mean this averages it out.
Yeah, no,
right?
It averages it out, and I think that as we go through the season, I think we will win more than we don't win. So I think we'll pick up 3 points more often than we drop points in these types of games. These losses are going to happen in a season. Losses like this are going to happen in a season.
I already had one,
and maybe only 1 or 2 of them, but like at least one of them is typically going to happen, even in a title-winning season. And we still have only lost 2 games. We're still top of the league. We're still up on City by 5 points with now the same number of games played. Now, the last time we lost a game in the league,
we went on a run.
We went on a 13-game unbeaten streak. So if we are 20 games into the season, and if we could have that run of form again and guarantee that we don't lose another game until game 34 with 4 games left,
you'd take that.
Everyone listening right now would take that. This is not let's not let this loss distract us from the type of season that we've had is what I'm saying.
Well, I've already had a friend that texted me about the loss and everything, and I said, I mean, it's a tough league. Everyone's going to lose some games, and he was like, champions don't lose against those type of teams. And I'm like, I mean, they do.
Well, 2013, 2012. It's sometime between 11 and 13. Manchester United, who went on to win the league that year, lost 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Man United were first at the time, and Wolves were 20th at the time.
And
no one said a goddamn thing. I don't want to hear any of that shit. Any of that shit.
But yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot of positives or anything really even that interesting that happened in this game, other than the ref being garbage and looking like a Ratatouille character. So let's maybe just. I got
Ego. His name was Ego.
Anton Ego.
Well, there you go. But
ref's name is David Coote, by the way.
Yeah.
So if that's
Cooter, get my jacket. But no, so we've it's been a couple weeks since we've been with you, and I got some general shit we want to go over. First of all, general shit. So Tom, 2 weeks in England. I have questions. Number one, what? For those watching on News Channel 8, it's a picture of the ref. What was the beer to food intake ratio while you were there?
4-1.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
That's very impressive.
For 2 weeks, that's pretty impressive.
This
man got to see got to see us beat Man United at home and beat Spurs away. Inside of 7 days of each other.
Got to see Tottenham lose two additional times.
Yeah,
got to see Chelsea lose, Liverpool lose
twice.
Got to see championship footy, which is I'm absolutely doing that.
For those who don't know, QPR is Tom's real favorite team. But no, just regale us like what
The weather was shit. It didn't rain, but it was still shit.
Yeah.
It was ice cold. It was supposed to be 50, but it fucking got down to 25. I think.
Did you pack enough warm gear for that?
No, I didn't. I had rainproof stuff, but I didn't have cold weather stuff.
Yeah.
I think part of the food problem was we're constantly on the move, and then there's a huge movement towards vegetarianism and veganism over there.
That I would not have guessed.
And so going to places like Pret a Manger and Greg's, if there are 10 sandwiches and there are 8 of them are all vegetarian, it's like 5 different cheese combos or just cucumber with mayo, and then they all had this weird combo. It was tuna with sweet corn. They call it sweet corn.
Ugh.
Yeah, and tuna with sweet corn sounded like something you would see in a 1950s cookbook.
Did you say they call it sweet corn as if you never heard of sweet corn before?
Well, yeah, it's. I think they try to make it seem exotic, kind of like.
Oh, fair enough.
Like the guy that did Haagen-Dazs ice cream couldn't sell ice cream for years.
Yeah.
Because it was like Miller's ice cream, then he changed the name to Haagen-Dazs. No one wanted to eat a Patagonian toothfish until they changed the name to Chilean sea bass.
Chilean sea bass, yep.
And kind of like nobody.
And African something or other is now tilapia.
Yeah. African whitefish.
Yeah.
Which tilapia isn't even a natural occurring fish anymore. So
Yeah, tilapia is farmed.
They farm it.
Yeah.
They are lower than catfish.
It's
disgusting.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
And they're riddled with cancer.
Put some respect on catfish, though.
No, catfish is delicious. Tilapia is riddled with
But as far
cancer.
as bottom feeders, if you knew what they eat.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever. You eat the booty. I don't want to hear it.
That's true. Well, 3 of us. But yeah, well, and like
The day is still young. The day is still young.
like I ain't going nowhere after this. So,
Ladies, if you
Maybe
want
eat some ass.
Exactly.
but no. So I mean,
Ryan isn't eligible bachelor for any single ladies watching.
that is
Just
not
doesn't eat ass.
that is not the purpose of this podcast. Not even remotely. But no, I feel like my favorite story that I know is I slept in my clothes. I woke up. Feinberg woke me up and said, "We're leaving." You didn't know where you were going. You got on a train, fell asleep again, and woke up in Brighton. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That was we stayed up. So we get on a lot of levels, and one of them is 80s hip hop, and we stayed up till 6 a.m. playing obscure stuff. Like,
We know. There's plenty of videos.
There's videos, yes.
So UTFO and the Boogie Boys and just Roxanne Shante.
Eric
So
B.
yeah,
and Rakim.
So I'm
Found her some Eric B. and Rakim.
The kind of albums that have purple Jeeps on the cover.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going with obscure ones.
Obscurity. Yeah.
Because in fact, like somebody that came over, like, how about some Beastie Boys? And it's like every white guy goes, how about some Beastie Boys? So yeah.
How about some shut the fuck up?
Yeah. So
Let us do our thing over here.
He comes in the living room.
I do like Beastie Boys,
and
though.
it's, I mean, I do
Well,
too.
everyone does, but it's nothing like.
And you are a standard white guy.
But it's like, but when you say to it,
I am a god.
He's like, no, I'm an elite white guy.
I am an Adonis.
and I know that Will listens to a lot of rap. But I'm just saying, like, your average white guy, you say, do you like rap? And they go, of course I do.
Beastie Boys.
Yes.
Eminem.
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
Well, Eminem is legitimate, but
I know.
Well, so is Wu-Tang, but.
So yeah, Mike.
they might say like Pitbull or something. Or
Yeah,
something
that's
like,
no.
So
just
Mike,
like the easily digestible rapper.
At least Pitbull did in fact let us know that Kodak does in fact rhyme with Kodak. So
Look, Pitbull is for the children.
T-Pain once rhymed log cabin with Wisconsin, so
so Mike comes charging into the living room and he's like, "Are you gonna be ready to go in 20 minutes?" And then I basically just woke up and I said, "Yeah." I chugged a Red Bull, and then next thing you know, I'm on this train to Brighton. We get to Brighton and immediately go to a pub and knock down a couple of, I think it was Samuel Smith lager, and then. People don't realize. A lot of people think that Brighton.
I think it's Samuel Jackson lager.
It's my beer.
Yes, I think they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
So a lot of people think because it's a seaside town that the ground is right by the ocean, and it's not.
No.
You got to get on this bus for another 20 minutes. I'm like, man, I've been on the goddamn train. I'm getting on a bus.
Yeah.
Like, is there a fucking horse-drawn cart next? I gotta, can we please get to the ground? And then we get to the ground.
Maybe an underground railroad.
And it was awesome. It was lovely to see Liverpool lose.
Yes.
And it was also cool to see Brighton, because Brighton has become to Arsenal what Southampton
It
used
was
to be
to
to Liverpool.
Liverpool,
Yes, yes.
They are our feeder team. So I'm like taking notes. I'm like, obviously, Matoma, yeah, everybody wants him. I want to say
Caicedo, of course.
Yeah.
Trossard was still there. You know, that was kind of
When
weird.
when you were there, he
yeah.
was. Yes, he
And-
didn't have that falling out yet.
Yeah, so Brighton is a beautiful city, a lot of artwork. There's an original Banksy there.
Oh, wow.
Very cool architecture, very artistic town, very gay friendly town. I love it. I'd like to go back, definitely.
Cool.
The options at the stadium for eating and food, we stayed after the game. We
No
stayed.
Scran. Or is it Scran?
No, it was Scran. It was
All
top
right, all
Scran. I can't remember what I had. I had a pie at halftime. I had a steak and ale pie. We stayed after the game and drank an hour after the game until they booted us out.
Shit.
And then, yeah.
Some would say Rude Scran Nistelrooy or Alex Scrandra Lacazette. I've got a lot of these.
Scranty Cazorla.
There you go.
Davide Scranton. Let's see. Robin Scran Percy.
No,
Jesus.
fuck that
I've got
guy.
a lot of
Fuck
these.
that
Yeah,
guy.
we don't talk about
I
that.
got a lot of these.
We don't talk
She
about
said
him.
no, Robin. She said no.
No, she said no.
Yes.
I can talk about him because I just can. I mean, it's.
But
I
so
don't know.
so is this.
People leave Arsenal, and I tend to just forget about them.
Is Robin Van
That's
Persie
just-
the last player we had with gray hair before Trossard? Because when we announced
Yes.
Trossard, that came up he has gray hair. Who's
Yeah.
the last
But he
player we
dyes
had
that
with
shit.
gray-
That's
Yeah,
a
Nah. I think Socrates had some gray hair
really?
before he left us. I think.
Speaking of Greeks that used to play defense for us, have we all seen the Mavropanos howler?
Yeah, that was artistic.
Oh, that was really bad.
That was
Yeah.
artistic.
I mean, to Will's point,
Petr Cech had-
I guess it was Jared. I was talking to earlier about it. He was like, if that keeper had gone towards his own goal even a little bit, he might have gotten to it, but
Yeah.
still, that
Yeah.
was aggressive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what was I just going to ask? So on your way to
Villa just scored against
Yeah.
Leicester. Somebody
Oh,
hit
good.
the bar, and then Ollie Watkins.
Good fuck, Lester.
so on your way to QPR, how many bins in front lawns did you encounter?
Not that many. We took an Uber. It
QPR is like
QPR is
Like
not that bad. Palace is the
No,
one.
but
Oh,
it's they're still South Side.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
But they're-
QPR
they're
is
in
West
like a-
London.
Is it West? I thought it was
QPR is
South
West London,
Oh, okay.
but it's
Yeah.
literally like like you're walking and you see houses, and all of a sudden there's a
There's
path,
a
and it's like
stadium.
bam, stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, where the fuck did this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is just smack dab in the middle of
The
the
funny thing
neighborhood.
about QPR was we were there well early, and it was the day of Mudrik's debut. And all the kids that are stewards there are all Chelsea fans. So they're supposed to be working, and so we're on the first floor concourse, and they're sneakily pulling their phones out, and we're also
Taking
like
pictures.
Well, no, they're watching the stream because they're all Chelsea fans, and then we're having conversation because we're not, you're not QPR fans, we're not QPR fans either. Like I pull my shirt, show them,
Your Arsenal badge.
who I'm an actual fan of, and then we started talking about the whole Mudryk situation and how I hope that he just becomes like the next coming of Shevchenko. and
he was bad yesterday.
yeah, I saw.
He didn't do
it was like
anything
zeros.
yesterday.
It was like zeros top to bottom.
He literally did nothing. Nothing.
So arguably the most important thing that Mike and I saw the entire trip was Fulham Chelsea.
I want to circle back to that. By the
And
way.
we saw
yeah.
Joao Felix get sent off.
Oh yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
also delicious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as we're watching the game, we did the math, and it was, okay, he's missing 3 more matches, so he's here until May. You paid that much money
And you're
to
getting
watch
what out of
that.
him?
Like,
Yeah.
and then yesterday, I think it was his
Hey,
first time back.
He's only going to play like 16
games.
games or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
that's assuming nothing bad happens between now and then.
He costs like $800,000 a game.
Yeah.
It's insane what
For
you
the
could
fucking
get for that money.
and no buy
Yeah.
option.
And Chelsea has spent $600 million and didn't manage 1 goal against lowly Fulham yesterday.
Yeah. Now Fulham.
Did
Fulham's
Enzo
above
Fernandez
them.
play yesterday?
Fulham's above them in the
Yeah,
table.
Fulham is better. Fulham
But
is
still,
better than they
it's
look.
mighty Chelsea. We
Oh, I
have
know,
all the
I know.
gunslingers, all the mercenaries.
the bridge. Save the bridge.
Every
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Back onto Mudryk.
Stamford
All right.
Bridge is burning down, burning down, burning down. Yeah.
Everybody's just burning down. I think back to Mudryk.
Fuck
I really
off,
want to say I'm not
Chelsea.
going to do this, but I think it would be serendipity or serendipitous if
Nope.
what has happened?
Oh, my goodness.
Just what the fuck?
Where was the keeper even?
Dear listener, we're watching Leicester
Hey,
Villa,
yo.
and Madison just got a goal that
There was no one paying attention to the
Yeah.
box.
Aston Villa forgot how to be a football club.
Well, both these
for like 10 seconds.
because even Villa's goal, the
it
shot
just
hit the bar, and then no one
clusterfuck.
defended.
Oh, look, it's Mr.
Yeah,
I
fuck
can't
it.
stop talking about Arsenal.
Oh yeah,
every
no
interview.
wonder because their keeper is fucking Emi Martinez, and he's not nearly as good as he fucking thinks he is.
He may have won the World Cup, but he
yeah.
won shit in this league.
You know what's crazy too
I'm
is
about
like
fucking sick
he
of
was-
him right now, I'm
He
not
was
gonna
so
lie to you.
he was so beloved by our fan base, and then he made those comments like
Yeah,
2
just to be a
months
dick
after
about
he
it.
left.
Yep.
And after that, it's like, nah,
Why are you
you
talking?
can
Why are you talking?
exactly.
Just don't.
You can fuck off forever.
Yeah.
If we
Like,
saw him
Oh, so it
upside
was-
down in
look
a
at
ditch
this.
in a car and the car's on fire, I'd pull
Look
out
at
my
this.
phone to check my Instagram before I called the police.
So I mean, like, he shouldn't have passed it to that guy, but also like, what?
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
know, man.
what?
Look at this!
But-
Look at this! Look at this!
Look at this. Somebody look at this.
Somebody come look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a great tackle.
Jesus,
That's
just
a great
pass
tackle.
it back to Emmy, dog.
I mean, when you got a dude numbered 44 and you pass the ball to him 9 yards
Your
in front of
dad
your
is
goal,
9 yards in front of your
44.
goal with 3 blue shirts surrounding him.
yeah,
Like,
like that's a poor decision, my man. That is a poor decision. Like all these slide tackles, just dudes flying by.
Speaking of
Bruh,
poor decisions,
nah.
speaking of poor decisions, was it a good idea to bring in Fabiera for
No.
Odegaard
No,
today? 'Cause
no.
I mean, Odegaard had not
Odegaard-
covered himself in glory, but
and he
Vieira
looked,
gave us.
he looked off since that tackle that he.
And,
I mean,
today's
yes.
today's another one of those days where like if you put if you put the entire team into a big laundry bag and just hit it with a stick, you won't hit an innocent body.
no,
Yeah.
no one was good. Was ESR? ESR was not on the team today, right?
I don't
he was
think so,
injured.
yeah.
He did
Yeah.
not. He did
Yeah.
not travel.
But like that's the thing is like Vieira was awful in the FA Cup game,
Yeah.
and so you
Right.
bring him on. Like, what do you expect out of him? You know,
Outside of his,
he didn't really have a lot of time to make
Yeah.
it. I think Vieira is one of those players that is typically almost always better when
after he's been on for a minute.
Yeah, or when he
Yeah.
starts the game.
Yeah, I mean, his
he
first-
needs a little bit of time to grow into the game.
well, his first three
as we see,
starts
Odegaard
were
can
good.
make an assist at minute 2.
Yeah, his first 3 starts were good, and then since then, whether it's coming in as sub or start, he's been trash.
Kind of trash. Well, I want to wrap up one thing about you overseas before we
Okay.
get there. Did Feinberg destroy any furniture?
You may very well think that, but I couldn't possibly comment.
I can
if
neither
I
confirm
speak-
nor deny the rumors of Feinberg.
I'm in big trouble. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
I'm in big trouble.
I'm in big
Okay.
trouble.
Fair
if
enough.
I speak.
no,
Fair
he,
enough.
he didn't. He did not.
I cannot speak. I cannot speak.
Not in my recollection. So like the wild stuff with furniture is we invited somebody over. I forget what night it was. Oh, it was after Spurs. We got wild after Spurs and just hit
As
like
you
five.
should.
And then it was one of those things where they closed the pubs and then we hit an off license and grabbed. We wound up with 2 bottles of champagne in the house. I think somebody.
Oh God.
And there's this one guy.
What is an off license for people that?
It's a corner shop that sells alcohol,
Yep.
and so it's you call it an offie. So we hit the offie, and this guy, I won't say his real name, but he wound up passing out on the couch, and the rest of us are still going, and so he recuses himself to the unclaimed bedroom, which was fine. He passes out in there, but then this motherfucker starts doing like Goldilocks, and then he gets in my fucking bed,
Oh.
and then I lost my shit because
While you were in it.
no.
Okay. Well, at least it wasn't that.
But you know, like, don't go into my room, man.
Yeah,
Like, my
yeah.
passport's in there, my money's in there,
Right.
Yeah.
and just I don't know you. I know him, but I don't know him.
I know him.
Right.
I don't know him.
and then like
I seen him. I don't know him.
so I flip out. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of my. I was like the drill instructor in like Full Metal Jacket
Yeah.
to Private Pile. Like, Private Pile, if you don't get in my fucking bed in
Yeah.
precisely 3 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
So he gets up.
You're a goddamn cheese, scum.
Yeah, and Mike is like, come on, man. You know, he's cool and all that. Like, I don't know this motherfucker.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
And then he got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets in fucking Feinberg's bed, and so it's like, oh, see how how that is?
Now you go be nice to him when he's
Exactly.
fucking. He's got his
Because I was
dirty ass in your bed.
Right, like my primary worry is this motherfucker's gonna piss himself, shit himself, or like I don't know who he is.
Wolves is already beating Liverpool 2-0.
That's delicious.
Yes,
Wow.
even though we lost today, if everybody else loses,
Yeah, you know, whatever.
and tomorrow's
And
gonna be
City's playing Spurs, and they have played City very well at the Toilet Bowl in the last two and a half
Yeah.
years. So
I do want to add, like, quickly, going Spurs away. It's about as harrowing as people tell you it is.
Really?
And here's what scumbags they are, because there's a lovely young lady named Polly, just like stereotypical, blonde, blue-eyed, very pretty, innocent, never did any harm to anyone, and fucking Spurs threw a bottle and hit her in the foot.
Yeah.
And she carried a bruise, although she wore that shit with honor. Like she was like, I got a bruise on my foot from Spurs away. And like, she said it the way a real fan would.
Yeah.
She's like, I got
Yeah.
a bruise on my foot from Spurs away, and we're like, fuck yeah. But yeah, going up there,
just a bunch of shitheads over there.
it's like that movie The Warriors. When you go up there, man, you move as a pack. and then like she and this other guy
Don't break
Biscuits,
off.
Right.
They had to piss, and then we're standing there, and Kenny Ken 72 on Twitter. If you don't know who he is, he's an AFTV personality, but this motherfucker is big, and he's like got his head on a swivel. And it's like, knees over my left shoulder. They already clocked us.
Yeah.
And and then luckily there's cops everywhere, but like they get done pissing, we walk another 15 minutes, and then I'm like, damn, now I gotta go. And then I peel off into this coffee shop, this cafe, and Mike's like, no, Tom, no, and I'm like,
Don't do it.
Gotta go.
Don't do it,
Like,
Tony.
what am I supposed to do? Piss on myself? You know, like carry one of those things that fucking astronauts have. Like, so I peel off to piss. Luckily, Kenny waited. Because without him, it'd have been like, the last...
jump the second you walk out of there.
Yeah, it would have been like the last 20 minutes of Black Hawk Down, man. Like...
Oh, my God.
They're fucking parading my body down the street like we got one, yeah. Fucking...
Look at what we found.
Exactly. They're parading me like, we got a gooner.
Now, in all fairness, is it or is it not more or less the same when it's the reverse?
I can't speak on that.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
I'm in big trouble if I speak.
If I had to say anything, I think I would say they are more thuggish because they have nothing to celebrate.
Right, they're the little brother. They have to do that
they
kind
have more
of shit.
natural anger.
Yeah.
But man, our away fans are fucking phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Because going there and then finally clearing all the security and getting inside, I mean, it is insane. Like people are slamming on everything.
I love it.
To like, so they're singing the
to make
song.
noise.
Yeah. Antonio, are you listening?
But to your point, Will, during the FA game,
we're 14 in front, you Italian cunt. Walking in a Mecca Wonderland. And then like people are like slamming on walls, everything. And we're doing that for like 10 minutes.
I saw the video from the tube station. I think it was a tube station.
Yeah.
And a train, because on the way out, they don't let you go out the way you come in. And then I got split from people. And then you got to go to Tottenham Hale to take the surface train back. And the surface train was mixed.
Yeah.
So I got on that train. I was like,
let me just make sure I'm ready. Make sure I'm ready.
If somebody's getting punched in the face, I'm not going to be the last one.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, Will, during the FA Cup game, like our fans were louder than theirs the entire time at City.
Yeah.
Like our away fans mean business.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and that's what I love about our club so much, and especially with the change that Arteta's been doing is just bringing the fans back into it, man.
We got these 25-year-olds, the Ashburton Army. They are lunatics, and I love it.
Yeah.
They I got to see them the Man United game, and they get on the concourse. The videos are there, and they're young, they're energetic, and they do not stop.
That's good.
They remind me of these. The Russians have this new private army called the Wagner Army. Where and the Ukrainians are talking about them like. They take these guys out of prisons and they're like, if you come fight in Ukraine,
you're free.
And Ukrainians are like, I swear to God, I shot this motherfucker 8 times and he kept coming. And that's the Ashburton Army. Is these guys are, man, they jump, they sting, they do not stop. The only downside is they do sing the Y word and the anti-Tottenham songs, and we've had to explain, Mike and I, like that word is not cool.
Yeah,
and I don't care if it was acceptable.
What word?
A lot yid.
I don't even know what that is.
Anti-Semitic shit.
Yeah, it's like calling a Jewish person a yid or yiddo.
Got it.
And their whole thing is
I was just ignorant. I never even
It's
knew
very
what
much
that word was.
an Englishism. Like I don't think that's a thing here necessarily.
I mean,
it is. It is.
I mean,
it's not as.
It is, but it's not like
Yeah.
Right. Like here in the States, we have like a dozen other awful
I'm not
things
saying
that
we're
we
better.
call.
I'm just saying it's a different thing than you hear over here.
As someone, I've seen them 3 times away, or sorry, twice away. Once at their house, and they do this thing where they go yids, 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 and then they also have that song. Being a yid, kicking his fucking head in. So
Jesus Christ!
They revel. They revel in calling themselves that, but to me, it's kind of adjacent to white guys that listen to rap and then they hear the N-bomb.
And think they can do it.
Yeah, like not to steal that Jonah Hill thing from that movie, You People, but like you don't get to see.
I need to watch that movie this weekend. By the way, I heard it's really good.
I saw the trailer and I am absolutely going to watch it.
Yes, I am so
like
excited.
When I hear that word, like Pusha T says it all the time, I substitute the word shooters.
Yeah.
So it's like I got some shooters that send around to your house right now.
Yeah.
But
Whatever it is, you don't do what.
So anyway, so we have a hand.
But even hitters is troublesome because it has that same short eye sound.
Yeah.
So if a person don't hear you
Not
quite
paying attention,
right,
they're like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway, our away fans, the Ashburton Army, man, those guys, they bring some energy. And as much as people like to say the Highbury Library and Arsenal fans, it's all tourists and your Londoners, our away fans, man, we bring the motherfucking ruckus.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Ukrainians in there. Speaking of Ukrainians, I had a point on
Mudryk. Yeah, we're finally getting back to it. Yeah, we're circling back.
And my general policy is I don't typically talk about Arsenal, about players that aren't Arsenal players or that we almost signed. It's part of our almost 11. However, I think it would be serendipitous and a little bit ironic. I'm not going to do this because I believe I have more class than this. But if we,
it sounds like you're doing it though.
But if Arsenal supporters were to keep the same energy for Mudryk that rival supporters had for Pepe, had for Nico Pepe when he first signed for us, and he was our club record signing. And and even then, that first season, Nico Pepe was our leading assister for that season. So Tom mentioned it. He had played 45 minutes yesterday and had a bunch of fucking
diddly squad
zeros down
zeros
the board.
Across the board.
He was he wasn't necessarily bad. He was just absolutely invisible.
Yeah, not
if
present.
he wasn't on the pitch, it would have made no difference.
Have you seen a Ukrainian?
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
He's a new Shevchenko.
I'm not going to do it, but I want to hear other folks have the same energy.
Let AFTV do it. They'll do it for us.
I'm kidding. I'm totally going to fucking do it.
I know
Fuck that guy.
I've seen some United, United fans lay into him.
He's dropping in-bombs on his TikTok so he can fucking suck my whole dick as far as
I came across a
concerned.
video. The one thing I love about Instagram is just like some of these random videos that come on your feed that you can like scroll through like 5 to choose what you want to watch, right? And one of them was this guy. I don't know what country he was from. He definitely wasn't from the UK or the US, but it was the real reason why Mudryk chose Chelsea. And as soon as I read the headline, I literally just go, because of the fucking money.
Yeah.
And he like talks about like everything, and then it just ends about the difference in money. And I'm like,
well, there you go.
So why did you have to take fucking 45 seconds to explain
say all this
shit?
bullshit?
Yeah. like
because it's the internet, man. People, it's verbal masturbation.
Yeah.
Because
this my time.
Him to Arsenal was the equivalent. Him to Arsenal on social media was the equivalent of like an IG model to a celebrity wanting to be flown out and pampered. And you know what? And then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He was twerking that hard for us, but
and in his defense,
money talks. Tom has always said it, to Tom's credit. When Conte could have signed, when N'Golo Conte could have signed for City or whoever, he went to Chelsea because Chelsea offered him the most money.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's been there ever since, and he's won 2 titles, 2 or 3. I think just 2 titles with them, or 2 leagues, and a Champions League, and I think Europa League during that time.
Yeah.
But money fucking talks, man.
It does.
I sincerely believe
he wanted Arsenal, but he didn't want it bad
I don't think Mudryk
enough.
made that decision on his own. I really don't. If you look at his facial expressions, and also
that introduction video was second only to Abba's for hostage
Oh,
negotiation
yeah.
situation.
You can almost see the guy with the gun to
Like
his
he's
back.
holding the thing like,
and I think I don't know if it's the precise mathematical difference, but the 20-some mil that went right to the Ukrainian army.
Yeah.
25
And
mil.
in his defense, I mean,
there's something patriotic about that.
his country is at war.
Yeah.
And if I were in the same position, it's like, look, 23 mil. Think about the tanks and the weapons and all that shit. Like, you get paid money to chase a ball around, and these fucking guys are laying their lives down.
Right.
To keep the Russians.
I mean,
out
there's
of
a
his
certain amount of
country.
respect for
He
that.
has posted Chelsea stuff to Instagram finally. He went for like a week and a half
Without
without posting
posting
anything
anything.
about Chelsea.
Yeah.
When he was every day was twerking for Arsenal on Instagram.
Which, but
And he probably surrendered his social media. A lot of these guys,
Yeah,
that's
he
part of
probably
the
has
deal.
somebody-
yeah,
just running it,
handlers
yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Like Cristiano, part of the deal for him to go to that club.
Oh,
that
no,
he
Saudi
went to.
Arabia was like some official government person.
Yeah, which he
running his Twitter now.
finally scored his first goal yesterday, and it was a penalty.
Man, whatever, man.
I know, and it was funny is all the typical feeds and it was like he's the first player to score 500 goals in 5 different leagues. I'm like, Saudi Arabia doesn't count as a league.
It's just a
That's
bunch
not
of
a
dudes
league.
playing football.
They've existed for 10 years.
Name one team from that league. Name one. Nobody knows.
Al Sadd,
El Saad, that's it.
Right, because
Al Naim,
Xavi Hernandez played there, or he coached or some shit. And it just-
and Santi Cazorla played in that league, I believe. as well.
Anyway, getting back to you're still talking about Mudryk or someone.
yeah, and I think Mudryk, he did the right thing. We just don't know about it because, bless you, because I think a lot of
Thank
people
you.
don't understand that there is something bigger than this game, and someone like him.
Yeah.
You know, imagine like if there was a guy from like Myanmar, a guy from Yemen that if you sign for the team you may not necessarily want to sign for, but you can help your country.
It might, transform something back home.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It was never reported.
Nice Myanmar reference, by the way.
Before
Previously known as Burma.
Countries at war.
So and I could be wrong on this, but before the Chelsea deal came in and they accepted that one, I don't remember seeing any report about his former club saying that part of the money is going to go to the war.
No, but I feel like we all kind of thought that.
No, I mean, I know we did.
I did not. I had no idea that was going to happen.
Right, and
Look, Shakhtar said they don't need the money.
Right.
Really, we don't need this money. It's like, well, then what are you holding out for more for?
So that's what I'm saying is just like, I feel
but
like...
if they got so much money, they don't need it. They could have already been donating.
I feel
maybe they have. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like if they had told Arsenal that, Arsenal probably would have paid.
I don't know. I mean...
Kroenke might have been like, my country already indirectly.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
We got
Who knows,
Abrams tanks and...
But look, so, I mean, I guess let's go in the opposite order. I mean, we're talking about Mudryk. Let's talk about the transfer window as a whole.
There we go.
For us. It's sort of a segue. I'm not that great at it, but whatever. So my point all along, and I've said this at the beginning of the year, is like, look, we spend money now, which is good.
Yeah.
But we still have to spend smarter than the other guys. And to me, dropping $100 million on one guy was not the way that we need to go, no matter how great he might be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, and I
You have
I
to
would
have your
say,
principles.
Yeah.
Well, not even that. It's like we had greater needs than just one winger. And
Right.
so, like, you look at and you look at the way that Chelsea had to do it to amortize the deal for financial fair play, and he gets 7 years. What if he doesn't pan out? Then you're locked into that shit,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so, like, I would argue that getting Trossard, Jorginho, say what you will about him, but we needed a warm body in midfield, and the Polish dude whose girlfriend is a twerking queen, by the way.
Kiwior,
Who?
I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna call him Mr. Twerk. It's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna call him the Olympian, man. Like
Yeah, he's fast as fuck.
the
Apparently,
sprint
yeah.
champion. I mean, how he's faster than Saka,
Which is crazy.
He jumps higher than Gabriel, and then he has the standing
standing long jump, yeah.
which is these are things that if you are an athlete, you have to be able to do.
Yeah.
And guaranteed, we've had some dudes in the past that can't do any of those.
But I would argue that getting those three guys is better for us right now this year than it
I
would have been
agree.
for getting
Yes.
Mudryk.
I agree.
Trossard did more today in his
20
short
some
appearance
minutes than anybody else on the team.
than Mudryk did yesterday in an entire half.
Yeah, or than anyone else on our team did all day.
Or than he did in his first.
We
Combined
might,
as well.
we,
In
we
both
might have to
games
start
combined.
talking about should Trossard start over Martinelli.
I don't know about that.
Martinelli had a better game today.
It's a conversation.
It is.
Martinelli has been not up to his normal level for several games
Yeah.
now.
Yep. I will say
Every
today
time
was
Trossard
better.
comes in, he makes an almost immediate
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
He's shooting on goal. He made the game look different to the point where I felt if he could, another woodwork hit in this game. I felt where if he came in sooner, we
might have
would
gotten
have
one
had
out
a
of
better
it.
chance.
He's the reason we
I
beat
don't-
Man United.
Gabriel Martinelli is absolutely not a bad player.
Right.
He's
We're
not
not
even
saying he's
necessarily.
shit.
I
We're
don't
not
think
saying
he's
he's
necessarily
shit.
in bad form. I think he has played a lot of games.
Yeah, that's true. He's got
And
a lot of miles on him
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
got a lot of miles on
Played
him.
at the World Cup?
Yeah, and so
Wait,
did
did he play the
Saka.
World Cup?
He played a couple times.
He did.
I mean,
Yeah.
in a substitute situation.
Should have started, but
And so he's played almost every minute of every game because we haven't had until we brought in Trossard. We just haven't had good backup for him.
Because ESR was hurt, but still.
Yeah.
But also like we would bring in Tierney for him when he was absolutely
Right, right.
and so he's been almost forced to play maybe a lot more minutes than he would have otherwise. Let's say if we'd had Trossard in the summer.
Right,
yeah, because
right.
ESR
Or Mudryk or
ESR
whoever.
also being hurt too is why he's had the miles on
If
his
we had
legs,
had Trossard against Newcastle, I think we would have won that game.
I think we
Yeah.
win that
Yeah.
game.
'Cause-
I think Trossard should start our next league game.
I
Give
agree.
Gabby a
Yeah.
rest. Put him on the bench.
It's against Brentford.
Yeah.
Give him a rest. You know.
Well, and Trossard, he's our new sneaky little guy.
Yeah, he's
since
a
Torreira.
player, man.
Like
He's a player.
He's tiny and he's shifty and he gets in places
Yeah.
and he can move into his
Yeah.
tiny spaces with the ball.
is the only player on our team with the close control of him is Gabriel Jesus.
yeah.
He has insane.
Like
close
there are
control.
elements
I'd
of
say
Santi
Odegaard.
Cazorla to him, but in
Odegaard's
a more
got great-
attacking.
Oh yeah, Odegaard.
you know.
Yeah,
I think
that's where he's
Odegaard,
up there too.
He's got some tech.
I think
man.
those
Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
that against recently? It was a
The double tap.
The double tap pass.
I was thinking
Yeah.
of it. It was a Cruyff turn, but he nutmegged the guy with a Cruyff turn.
Oh yeah.
He had two people on him, and he was like, not only that he Cruyff turned, but to nutmeg somebody with a Cruyff turn was like that's some extra special sauce that
Yeah.
he puts
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
He
Villa scores.
And that shows you how what a fucking largesse that Madrid has that they let us have him for 30 mil.
Well,
I gave my
honestly,
wife some
though,
extra
like-
special sauce this morning.
Yeah, well, that's lovely. No, but number one, you're not wrong. But also, Madrid.
It's like a hollandaise that I made.
I'm sure it is.
Jesus.
Madrid chose poorly though because they chose
I forgot
the
the actor's name. The guy from that what's Best in Show. Oh God, I don't know. But
Eugene Levy.
No, but
Caterpillar eyes and eyebrows himself.
yeah, the white, not Eugene Levy, but there's a white guy. The way you said that just now was very much like him. That's lovely.
God, yeah, the guy the tan guy who's the host of the. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So,
Can't think of his name. But no, that's
Not this tan.
well, no,
Not like Ben White
Not
tan.
yeah,
No,
so
yeah.
Let's talk about that. Do we think yes or no? Ben White has a tanning bed clause in his contract. I feel like he has to.
I think he has a tanning budget. In his
He goes to
his
Spain
contract.
all the time because you see his Insta.
But even I don't care how much time you spend in Spain. It's fucking winter, man. You're going to a tanning place.
Maybe he probably. I mean, I really don't. I'm
unless you go to Spain and immediately just shoot yourself onto the beach.
I don't give a shit about his tan.
He could also just be naturally tan.
Who spends more?
His name
no,
is
seriously,
Ben White.
Okay, so
I almost said Ian was wearing a Ben White shirt, and I almost said, Ian, it's weird to put descriptors about yourself in the back of your shirt like that. Who spends more, Ben White on tanning budget monthly or Wayne Rooney on a subscription to Pure Mature monthly?
I was thinking Wayne Rooney on that fucking plant on top of his head. That as a man who has lost his hair,
he's an American now, so he doesn't have the awesome stuff. He's got Bosley. He's got Bosley over here.
There's a video that DC United put on Instagram. It was the first team meeting recently, and he's speaking with that thick Scouse accent.
Yeah.
And he must not. He probably. I don't know if he does, but DC United. We got South Americans and Central Americans.
yeah.
They don't know what the fuck you're saying, man.
Yeah.
Oh, facts.
Because he was trying to say you have to work hard, but it's because you have to work hard. You have to work hard.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, if you're a South American,
wank hard. What the fuck?
what the fuck did this motherfucker do?
So you're gonna
When
have
he
a
says
jerk
work,
off
it sounds like
circle?
wick.
Yeah.
You'd have to work hard.
Yeah.
You'd have to work hard.
And
they're like,
Oh, that wasn't bad if I say so myself.
No, that
actually
was actually-
solid.
that was actually
a
very
very
good.
That was a very good. It was either a George or a Ringo.
Listen to a little bit more Patty the Batty, and you'll be right dead on the money on how he sounds.
But so anyway,
I've told you.
we're talking about Ben White. My problem,
Yeah.
Ben White,
Scousers don't get knocked out.
as someone who
That's almost
I love
bang.
Patty the Batty.
That's bang on.
That's almost bang on.
Marcus Rashford came in that United game and he fucking
he balled out.
and he put one past Partey and Ben White.
Oh, that move he did on Partey. Oh my god.
I mean,
who's this?
he,
Rashford
Rashford.
in the
Oh,
Man
yeah.
U game.
Ben White has not had a couple of good games. I don't know what's going on.
He did not cover himself in glory
'cause
today.
typically-
Ben-
Nobody did. So.
But here's
I
the thing:
thought Ben White was bad
Ben
today.
White should have been
Yeah.
subbed off at halftime.
Yeah, because he
And he gets one of those. Hey,
Yeah.
he's been so good for us. He gets one of those every now and
one.
then.
Yeah.
And this is his
Not
second
everyone.
game, 'cause
Sammy don't get one.
Second in a row.
Sammy got
Second in a
3,
row.
and then it's all right, you're out.
Yeah.
I think Sammy's shirt number. Didn't they give Sammy's shirt number?
No,
to
it's Nuno's. Tavares.
Tavares is number 2.
Tavares.
Yeah.
See, I got time for Tavares.
Sammy's
if he wants to
23.
come back. Tavares would be a good winger.
Tavares is
Tavares,
balling.
he will be good in a couple of
He
years.
can't defend. He can if he wants to go forward.
He's been playing winger at Marseille.
Yeah, that's.
Here's the thing.
I think we
why
lose
is
him
it so
again next year,
difficult?
and then he comes back and he's okay.
It's obvious he doesn't like to defend. Let's fucking put him in attack.
Yeah.
And he attacks. But I guess this is Arsenal, and you can't say I don't do windows.
Right.
So you got to
Yeah.
defend. Speaking of that, because I love Odegaard, I love ESR, I love Bukayo Saka, all of them awesome. But man, they don't like to defend.
But they come
Man.
back. They still come back.
They
come back,
tried,
but they're not
they
effective
tried.
at it.
But Odegaard today was just like, oh my goodness, Martin, you gotta put something
Well,
more on than that.
usually-
Yeah, okay,
he
but
usually
he
does
should
his defensive
not.
work,
He
though.
should not have been the one assigned.
No, he was.
to
That
defend
was
on
a
that corner.
mismatch. Yes, someone on Twitter was like, "Why is Odegaard guarding the oak tree?"
Like,
Right, because Tarkovsky
Terrible.
was a good defender at Burnley.
Yeah.
I was shocked that he
He's
stayed
a
at
very
Burnley.
good player.
I could
To the
swear in
point
the
where
past.
he should have gotten England consideration for at a major tournament.
Oh yeah,
Well,
He's a little older now.
'Cause the
Not
point-
He's got England appearances, but
not that this is a benchmark, but he's fucking better than Harry Maguire.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
If
okay.
fucking
That
shit.
bar is on the floor.
If Tarkovsky were at Man United,
I'm better than Harry Maguire
if Tarkovsky were at Man
with
United,
1.5 legs.
if Tarkovsky were at Man United, he would be in those conversations
Yeah.
with John
If
Stone.
Tarkovsky were
I-
at Man United, he'd be their fucking team captain.
Oh yeah, he's
Easily.
So, because
He's got heart, is
Yeah.
what he's got.
well, when I
respect
when,
Tarkovsky.
so when they scored that goal, the first thing I said to all of you was the fact that every single corner, even after the goal that
Was
they
all
had,
the same play.
was the exact same type of corner, just cunt blasted
to the back post,
to the back post. And how we had defended it earlier was a little shaky, but we defended it in the way where one of our center backs was on the back post, whether it was Saliba or Gabriel, didn't matter. And on that one, that didn't happen.
No, they were both like up near the front of the box.
Saliba, you know, and I'm not blaming Saliba for the goal, but what I'm saying is he was the one that was close to the back post, and he did try to get back there, but he like half-assed his attempt to get back there, and then that leaves Odegaard, you know, all by himself with a guy that's twice his size.
Can I interject with an aside?
Yeah.
I follow a couple city supporters on Twitter.
Oh God.
I follow Liam Gallagher, Noel Gallagher. Actually, and Johnny Marr. That's three for me.
Oasis. And I think those guys are both assholes. Also,
Of course they're assholes. That's not the point.
So this girl I follow that's a City fan. She's saying I'm not saying much until we've played Spurs, as they are more of a boogie team for us than Everton for Arsenal.
And they are. And
City,
that's what we opened the
City
show
are
with.
not confident
Against Tottenham, no.
fan base today right now, even though the only team in front of them has dropped points.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fair.
that's, I mean, fair.
and like it's like, I mean, we opened the show with that. For some reason, Everton's got our fucking number right now. And even under a different manager, we still we roll up here and we shit
Everton
ourselves.
made a crossroads deal with a crossroads demon, and that's how they have our.
I guess that's true.
They've just gotten lucky. And it's not like they did the double. I don't think they did the double over.
No, they didn't.
No, we haven't played.
No,
no,
we
just the
crushed
one.
the last game of the season. We beat them.
They've beaten us
2 times in a row.
But and also I feel like it's like the stars and planets and cosmos aligned.
I know.
All these things
For this
today,
game,
aligned. When is the last time that 7 of our 11 players played badly?
Yeah, fair.
In the same game, it's
Yeah.
so rare.
This year it
It
hasn't
used to
happened.
be a thing.
used to not be rare, but
When
Yeah.
Wenger and the Spanish Vampire were our managers, we used to always struggle away early up north.
Yeah.
Those 3 factors.
Can they do it on a cold day in Stoke?
Well, if you play later, but to be the first
it's
game,
cold and rainy. It's
to
got to be
the-
rainy.
The first game of the day, and then also, and I hate to make an excuse, but the state of that pitch, man.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
that
terrible.
it was that one corner where he like
I'm not going to go there. That's not the reason
no,
we
it's
lost.
not.
They,
It's
they
not,
worked harder than us.
yeah.
But you got to remember too, like their stadium will be ready in a year and a half. They ain't giving 2 shits about this current field.
Yeah, this thing's gonna just
like they
disintegrate.
ain't giving 2 shits about this stadium and this field
And
right
it
now.
stings to lose to a Sean Dyche team because he has a unique offensive tactical style, which is none.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It
He
is-
has a losing record as a manager.
But listen, this first game in charge,
I know.
he's beaten the league leaders. This is what Sean Dyche does. It's why he was hired for Everton,
It was.
and he will keep them up.
yeah,
He'll keep them up.
I wish he didn't.
He's the new Sam Allardyce.
I wish.
He was
I
was
pray.
always a better version of what Sam. He was
Yeah.
always better than Sam Allardyce.
If Everton,
I have a little
if he
bit of
can't
respect
keep
for him
up,
in that he gets the results like that. Because
willpowered
I typically
Burnley
don't
into
respect.
Europe.
Yeah.
I
He got
typically-
Burnley into Europe.
Yeah.
I typically don't respect managers whose entire style is negative football, but I do have a little bit of respect for Dyche. Just that he reminds me of, if you remember a guy that coached Wolves years ago called Mick McCarthy.
Yeah.
He reminds me of that sort of ethos of that guy. He is that same guy.
Right.
And like, you know, I respect that a little bit. Like, you know,
What is
if
Mick
I had to
McCarthy's
quantify
connection
it,
to
out of
Ireland?
100, I respected about 5%. A tiny bit of respect.
Mick McCarthy has a connection to the Ireland national team. I forget what it was. Like I'm thinking of.
I mean, I think he coached him at one point, didn't he? Or
when,
was that
I'm
part
thinking
of the
of
setup?
when Roy Keane got sent home in 2002. Mick McCarthy has something to do with that. Not that I want to talk about that fucking twat.
Is Roy Keane Irish or Northern Irish?
He's Irish.
Irish, okay, yeah.
He's proper Irish.
yeah,
Not to offend any Northern Irish.
I was
Owen.
like, ooh, I was just going to
Yeah,
not say
Lester
anything.
ties it.
Is Tielemans playing today?
Is that Kelechi Iheanacho?
I didn't see him.
Because Tielemans, you know, I was wondering why didn't we?
I don't see
in?
him yet. I don't
We
see
got
him yet.
Jorginho.
Yeah, we got Jorginho.
I mean, ever since that
We
game,
got Jorginho, and Tielemans is now free in the summer. And now we
Right.
don't absolutely have
Yeah,
to
I
have
mean-
a body because we got Jorginho.
Yeah, but one, like, that's the thing. Like with Tielemans, like we all know he's
Tielemans would
coming
have
in
cost
free.
more than Jorginho costs us
Yeah.
right now.
The best
and,
part
like, we'll
too
get
is
him eventually.
Jorginho agreed to a contract that's only a year and a half.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Unlike
he
Chelsea,
didn't-
he
didn't-
signed
yeah.
motherfuckers for 8
Yeah, he didn't
years.
come. He didn't
So
come
let's-
in and demand, like a
let's-
2.5, 3-year
Apart
contract.
from killing Mbappe and Bukayo Saka, who's
worth
signed
that?
for
And
8
that's a
And
terrible
that's where I
rule.
want to. That's where I want to go with to wrap up kind of the.
Vinicius Jr. I would
Well, okay,
like.
sure.
Okay, yeah. He's top
But
player.
let's talk about
Vinicius
this.
Jr. is a top 3 player in the world. I
Yes,
think.
he is.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Let's one last transfer
Thank you.
window thing. What the fuck are Chelsea doing?
Buying
like-
everything.
I mean,
bro.
they are.
They're skewing the market.
so this
they're
is- this
skewing
is-
the
this-
market.
They're like
This is the
they're like
time for-
soldiers when they get their first paycheck.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
like-
soldier gets a sports car, a stereo, and some sneakers.
Yeah.
I have
It's a
a
stereotype.
small Will-like monologue
Oh God!
because
Yes, yes.
Like Mr.
I'm-
Burns said
I'm desperate.
on The Simpsons, if I may have an opening rant.
if I have a well, typically Will is the only one of those be given to, and for good reason. 'cause
Every podcast is a
does
Joey
good
rant,
job.
though.
Huh?
Every podcast is
No,
a
it's
Joey
not.
rant.
No,
It is not.
there's a little
not.
bit.
This Joey rant brought to you by Pabst
If
Blue
I-
Ribbon.
It's
if
not
I
like a
had to
lengthy
guess,
If you're
one.
having a
It's
rant,
not a
listen,
lengthy
Pabst Blue
one.
Ribbon.
No, you guys are lying.
I just said it's not a lengthy one.
Not everyone is. If I had to say conservatively, 9 out of every 10, but at maximum,
Is
9 out
my
of every
mic
10
working?
Is a
Is
Joey
my
rant.
mic working? I just said it's not.
Let's all look at
Bro,
the-
did you even listen to me? The whole thing was a joke on myself.
He
I
said
said
9 out of 10.
out of every 10 is a Joey
Oh,
rant.
okay.
Listen before you react.
No, I'm not gonna let you land.
I'm desperate for people to understand how financial fair play works within the scope of what a club like Chelsea are doing.
Thank you for
Because
teaching me, by the way,
there's-
'cause
no problem, man. There's so many people that are like, oh, what are they doing? They spend all this money, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's how it works as far as buying players and selling players. Okay, so Mikhailo Mudryk, right, cost them around 85 million. We're gonna go with Great British pounds, right? He was like a close to 100 million euro,
100 million
but
euros.
Great British pounds cost around 85 million.
Not to be confused with okay British pounds.
Yeah, great British pounds and mediocre British pounds.
like mediocre, like Danny Drinkwater.
They paid 30 million. They paid 30 million bad British pounds for him.
I actually
But-
Googled him. I was like, is Danny Drinkwater available?
Still around? Yeah.
He plays for Reading.
Yeah. Okay.
Who, by the way, Andy Carroll the other day, fucking horror tackle on Christian Eriksen. And then-
Yeah.
not to like speak
I'll
in
say-
favor
I'll
of
save my
United,
mom.
but God, like why? Fucking Andy Carroll should be in jail after what he did.
Okay, all right.
He should
He's
be in
taking
jail.
off. Go,
He should be
go,
in jail
go.
for a lot of stuff.
Move.
So here's how it works. Okay, when Chelsea bought a player like Mikhailo Mudryk for 85 million pounds, right? They signed him to an 8.5 year contract. That means for this year, what goes against their financials, what goes against their books
Is 1/7 of that,
Is
yes.
10 million pounds. It's not 1/7 of it. It's the cost of the transfer divided by the number of years
On the contract.
of the contract,
Yeah.
which is he signed an 8.5 year contract.
Oh, it's
He
8.5, right?
He cost 85 million pounds.
Yeah, so it's 10.
So he's going to cost
Yeah.
them 10 million pounds for this year and every subsequent year for the 8 million
Regarding FFP.
Yeah, regarding FFP. However, so that is how they're able to spend all this money. They spent $500,000. Right, the average length of a contract
Billion.
is half a
billion.
billion. The average length of a contract is around 5 years.
Yeah, 3 to 5.
So
Yeah.
again, against their books, it's only 100 million this year against the books. Now that's a lot of money. Let's say if they had,
But they bring it in.
But if they had sold somebody like Conor Gallagher, who was there was a lot of speculation.
count all that money immediately.
over 45 million pound move to Everton, I think it was. They
Yeah.
sold Anthony Gordon. So that point, when you sell a player,
You get to count it all right now.
yeah, you get to count it all right now, even if the club that you sold them to isn't paying a release clause. They're paying you. They're amortizing their payment to you.
Right, but you get to count it all now.
count
Right.
it on your books
Yeah.
now as a lump sum payment. That is how this. And there's so many. I know you know, which is why you're chiming in. But so many people don't know that, and they're just chatting stupid shit on Twitter and in person or wherever.
How
on the
can they
internet.
do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's also
well, 'cause
crazy
in our
how
group-
the
Yeah,
rules-
that is
the
how it
rules
works.
are
They've only
flexed
actually
in their
they're only-
favor.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
well,
sucks.
FIFA's changing it now.
FIFA is changing it now.
5-year cap.
So now
Yeah.
there's a 5-year cap, and so I think what it's going to be is I think you can sign a player to as long a contract
Correct,
as you want,
correct.
but that cost can only be amortized over
For
a maximum
5.
of 5
Yep,
years.
yep.
So it's going to stop them from being able to do what they did with Mudryk, which is essentially it's going to hit them like a 60 million.
Yeah.
Pound fee
So-
hits
Yeah,
them
yeah.
because of the length of the
Right.
contract.
Yeah.
What I was alluding to is not so much how are they allowed to do it, But what do they do and give it 8.5 years to a guy sight unseen in true top flight?
That's what they had to do.
It's a calculated risk.
No, I get that, but it's a hell of a risk. Because like, what if you?
It is a hell of a risk.
What if he fucking sucks?
If he sucks, then they will move him on and attempt to get as much of that value back
Which
as they
you
can.
can then count
Which they can
immediately.
then count.
Yeah,
You got it.
yeah.
You
It
got
is.
it.
It is like metaphorically. It is like imagine a tree branch, and they're like way the fuck out.
Yeah.
Man. Although,
Because they can,
And
they
again,
can,
I know you know.
they can sell them for 60 mil.
Yeah.
and then immediately 60
But
million
like, but
profit.
who's going to pay that if he's trash?
it's amazing sometimes how
listen.
older dudes like
Some team
walk
in Italy.
past us with microphones like.
What are those?
What are they doing?
Like we're fucking Nirvana and Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain is
Yeah.
alive.
Are you
What's
on the
going on
radio?
here? I'm old.
Not that I'm going to mention the guy's name, but he's like, "Are y'all on the radio?"
Yeah, it's like-
Is this a-
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Do you
This
see the
is-
big CBS channel, antenna over there? We're
Exactly.
jacked into that.
Like it is.
Holy shit.
Oh, and he botched the celebration.
God
3-2 before half.
This
watched
is
the
when did
celebration,
Leicester-
but
wow.
this is a
Wow.
game.
My God.
So yes, we're on the radio and we're sponsored by. I'm trying to think of like an old time.
Sponsored by Marlboro.
We're sponsored by Packard Automobiles.
Packard?
Sponsored by your
my
local
word.
Pontiac dealer. Yeah.
and yes, dear listeners,
Sponsored by Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
Packard didn't always make computers. They used to-
Saturn Car Company.
There you
guys
go.
sponsored
There you
by.
go.
What
And
other
all the
car
assholes-
companies are defunct?
And remember,
Sponsored by
remember,
Mercury.
boys, if you want
Yeah.
to serve your country, the lads are over there in England right now, and they're lining up to fight the Germans. And, you know,
Go collect scrap metal to make bullets.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
But
Oh, Ian, I
Gaming
should have a goal and an
derivative.
assist at this point.
Oh,
Emmy
man.
Martinez has been awful this
I
game.
mean, he's
He won the.
look at that.
He
That's
won the World
just-
Cup. Also, I don't want to be this guy, but he's gained probably 10 pounds.
Oh, for sure.
10, 12 pounds
Easily,
since the World
easily.
Cup.
What is that celebration?
I don't know, but
That's the recovery
Dude.
after you botch the knee
Yeah,
slide.
that's
Did you see
fair.
the botched knee
Yeah,
slide?
yeah, that's
it
fair.
was really bad. That was
Yay.
Tete or whatever his name
But
is.
he
Tete.
looked like a 52-year-old dad at the wedding that has never danced,
Oh.
and he's improvising a
He's
move.
he's just stiff as fuck. No
Yeah.
hips
Yeah,
whatsoever. No
yeah.
hips
He is-
whatsoever.
he is-
oh, that was his club debut
Fucking
too.
stiff
That's
as
like
a
the
board.
arm-
You know what he's like? He's like when white people the first time they see the electric slide at a wedding. And they
Oh,
get-
yes.
and they try
He's
to
like, oh,
they try
okay.
to
Like,
mimic
hey,
it.
what
and
is
they-
that? That's really interesting.
I'm
gonna-
into this.
It looks
I
easy,
hate
and it is
all
easy,
dancing
but
songs.
then they
You know
fucking
what, dancing songs?
sprinkle
Like
their
the- where it's like
unseasoned
group
skills.
dancing.
Where the song tells you what to do.
Yeah, they say pre-planned dancing.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
right.
I was like, you hate dancing? Like Jesus
I actually
Christ!
do. I actually do hate dancing.
I like dancing,
I
and I
don't.
listen to metal and shit. But
That's just called smashing into people. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, obviously we understand the fundamentals. It is just crazy to me. I mean, I guess like new owner throwing cash at it, whatever. But
Yes,
like, it's not
he
even just the
is-
money; it's just the gambling on the long term.
Yeah.
Like
He is-
you're
he
throwing
is-
these years out there, and yes, you can sell them on, but
TLDR, throwing money at a problem.
well, yeah, sure. And like what I don't have time for is these people that feel bad all of a sudden
Well, fuck
for
that.
the manager. Like,
Fuck.
oh, he's got all this pressure because they
Don't
spent all
feel
this money.
bad for
It's like,
Chelsea in any way, shape,
Right.
or
No,
form.
No.
Exactly.
Fucking
It's
racist
like,
ass
no.
cunts.
The guy getting backwards into a car. You got him queued up?
Oh yeah, I in fact do have that. Suck it, Chelsea.
That's so funny.
Suck it.
$600 million. Joao Felix got sent off.
Mudrik's done nothing.
Obama Yang can't play in the Champions League.
He is
Yeah.
dumped
Oh,
from
yeah.
the
Hakeem-
team.
Hakeem Ziyech, who's dying to get away
Yeah,
from
they
them.
fucked up
Dude.
the sale on paperwork.
That-
Because they
They sent
can't
the wrong
sign a piece of
paperwork.
paper.
They
18
said it
fucking
3
times.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, like, all day those assholes are, like, sitting on their ass in the office, just, like, playing Word,
Like, they
And
filling
then
that shit
5
out with
minutes to the
crayons.
deadline.
looking at porn.
It's like me like trying to get a contract in on time, like at midnight or
It was-
whatever. And another thing, Pepe joined Nissan loan.
Yeah.
He did.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
That is insane. all they wanted was a loan
And we've been
deal.
hoodwinked
We've been hoodwinked,
Bamboozled.
bamboozled, run amok,
and led astray.
led astray, run amok.
Who were we talking about the other day in the group chat? Like, somebody can't play the game of football, and they
Oh,
were
he's
like,
a bona fide scrub.
Yeah, like this-
Who was that?
I was like, this man, because I think it was Will. I was like, this man can't dribble, he can't pass, and I was like, he can't shoot, he doesn't have vision.
It was.
This
It
man
was
is a
This
bona
was
fide
right after I
scrub.
sent the Indica meme.
Yeah, Indica
What's the,
and pussy.
what's the
Fuck it.
opposite of Cancelo?
Who the
Confirmo?
Confirmo. Yes.
Who the fuck was it that I was
I
talking
can't
about?
remember either.
But yeah, it's arguably for me
This man was a bona fide scrub.
the worst
He
footballer.
can't play.
The worst footballer I've ever seen up close in person is John Obi Mikel. I would watch him and go, what do you do?
What does he bring?
Like, you
What
can't-
is it you do
You
here?
can't tackle. You can't pass.
Oh, and also, I feel like I like never feel sorry for Chelsea fans, but I imagine what they must have thought watching that dude after having the physical and gaming specimens that were Cloud Makalele and Michael Essien in a row.
Yeah.
They went from Makalele to Essien. It's like, boy, you're just going from strength to strength in that position.
Right.
And then John Obi Mikel.
Right.
And then you're like, well, it can't last forever, I guess.
But then they up and get N'Golo Kante, who kind of redefined it.
It's like that meme with the two super cool dragons and then the one special ed dragon.
Right.
Yeah.
Which United
that
fans
one was John Obi
and
Mikel.
United fans will live in infamy because they put Harry Maguire as a centerpiece of that.
And then they put Ben White as
Oh, I dig that one out all the time on the United fans.
Oh yeah.
But going back to the
Facts.
fuck Chelsea forever kind of shit. So for me, Chelsea and Man City both, they are still operating on borrowed time because they both got away with financial fair play, where they both received significant bans and suspensions and stuff like that.
But still less than they should have.
Yeah, exactly.
And
but no, it's even worse than that. It's
them.
even worse than that. 2 months after they got suspended, because remember this happened mid-season.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh no, it's fine. Everything's fine."
Yeah.
And then they got nothing.
Like that dog, the meme of the dog in the room that's on fire.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is fine. Yeah.
But see, here's to me is the problem. It reminds me of years ago after the Wall Street financial crisis.
I don't know.
And the Department of Justice, I forgot the guy's name, not Dick Fold, but he was,
Dick Fold?
Well, F-U-L-D.
That is unfortunate.
It was
his middle name's Foreskin.
I can't remember. I can't remember if he was Lehman Brothers or Morgan Stanley.
It's Richard Fitzwell, clearly.
But anyway, this motherfucker, the Department of Justice got him, and they were like, we charged him a $100 million fine. It's a record fine for Department of Justice. I'm like, bitch,
they don't care.
He made like $3 billion.
Whoop-de-doo.
If I got $3 billion, man, I'd punch my mom in the face on TV. We charged him a hefty penalty.
Yeah,
like
him getting charged.
he'll fucking write that off.
Him getting fined $100 million is like me getting fined $100.
Yeah. So
it's annoying, but I can do it.
Yeah.
The only way to punish financial fair play would be you are not allowed to have a transfer for 10 years.
Yeah, no window.
Academy only.
Well, that's the thing.
You got to work with your club and academy.
Both City, because this happened in 2018, right?
19, I think.
Yeah, so they both got hit with a 3-year transfer ban and a 3-year European
but then it was all
competition
transfer
ban.
ban, Dr. Evil would say.
Yeah, but the thing is
transfer
that
ban.
those both went away.
Number 2.
Yeah, those both went away. They didn't even give it for one window.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah.
Financial crimes never get prosecuted.
It's so stupid.
But if you got weed
Because
on
the
you,
people committing them got money.
Yeah,
and if you got money,
you can get out of anything.
So here's the thing.
Donald Trump will never go to jail. You know why?
Yeah.
Because he rich.
That's and listen, not to get too about social issues, but crimes that you commit or laws that you break where the punishment is fines is literally an attack on the lower class people.
Yeah.
Because when a rich person does it, the fine is just
nothing.
It's nothing for
when
them.
When a poor person does it, they're financially crippled for life.
It's not a law to them. Yeah. It's just the cost of doing business.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of business, the last kind of transfer business I want to talk about.
Ryan, can I raise a practical question?
No, we're not fucking doing Stonehenge.
Are you recording this in doubly?
Yes. No. So Caicedo. So we kind of talked about this in the group chat a little bit. They were adamant not to sell this window. You made the point that in summer they probably still will. Do we make another run at him in the summer?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Arteta's already said that he's going to.
He's getting sold in the summer.
You think so?
Yes.
Maybe not to us, but
even if they say they make Europa League, are they selling him still?
Yes.
Yes. Because they're going to get they'll get a money increase from that, and they'll get the money increase from
and they'll use
him.
their amazing scouting department, of which I know somebody went to Chelsea, but they still have an amazing scouting department.
Well, Chelsea's scouting department now is just like
$8 million guy who is actually worth
Chelsea's scouting department.
Caicedo cost him $4 million.
If you're Arsenal scout, Chelsea's scouting department is
like, what's going on over there? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that was the whole thing. Like Graham Potter and the scouting team are coming in. It's like all you got to do is just watch Arsenal. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So okay,
so we are definitely going back in from in the summer.
Like, what do you think it costs in the summer?
We are going in. It could potentially cost less in the summer.
I don't think so.
Well, if he has if he just doesn't really impress in the first 19 games of the season, he's probably been like a top 7 or 8 midfielder in this league.
Yeah.
Like he's been that level.
Yeah.
So the first half of the season. So if he does not continue that level, or if he just has a dip in form, and also it's clear that he's not going to re-sign there.
Yeah.
So they're gonna
They wanna
want
move
to
him
get
to get
rid of him
something,
in the summer.
But at the same time, like you look at what Chelsea did, and like that drives the market up. You know, and
Well,
they're like, look,
see, I don't even necessarily buy into those things.
I think it does.
This
'Cause,
guy's
like,
worth this because this says.
Well, but
this.
that's been the
here's
progression.
Here's the thing. I sell houses, so that is the way that I do business as well, right? Here's what this house should be worth because these other houses that are very similar around it all sold for around this much.
Right.
But the actual worth is what one person is willing to pay for.
Well, yes.
One party is willing to pay for it. The same goes with this player.
I mean, sure, but like
Chelsea is not going to be in for him.
Well, no.
They got
No
Enzo
way.
Fernandez for
125
for a Premier League record or a British football record
Right.
fee. They got their guy. This is it.
Yeah.
So we were the only two clubs that had solid concrete interest in him. As far as
Liverpool's
like
going to be
bids.
there. Liverpool's going to be there in the summer because they need to
Right.
do something.
Jude Bellingham's going to Liverpool. I
You think so? I mean, maybe.
I think in the summer it could be potentially where we are like the only club going after Caicedo or the only club that
In England, anyway.
that he would go to.
Yeah.
Because if Everton comes in and says, "Oh, we'll pay $60 million for him," he's
But-
not going to want to go there. He wants to make an increase in level. So
I think
and he wants to
there's
stay
the
in
same.
the Prem.
I think that's the
So,
same thing with Declan Rice. I
Yeah.
think Declan Rice, we might end up only being the only club going after him.
Same.
Maybe United.
I think United is
Maybe.
the only.
But they have
team-
Casemiro.
I think
And
that's the
him,
only
he's-
team. But he's 30. He'll
I
be
know,
31.
I know. But
and
his
they need
health
his-
record
He's
is
30
better
till
than
he's
Partey.
31.
But they need his heir apparent. And
Right.
so they might. But even if they do come in or if they do express interest, I think we have a team that he feels he could get the playtime in now, and I think he would maybe like our project a little bit more.
I think so too.
And I think he would be drawn to the idea of working with Arteta maybe more so than working with Erik ten Hag. I think
And he gets to stay in London.
We're
He
going
gets
to
to stay
go
in
in this
London.
summer. Stay in London. We're going to go in this summer for both Caicedo and Rice, and I think there is a decent chance that we get both of them.
I do too.
Well, we
Especially
also
we're gonna finish it. We're gonna be in Champions League.
And
Right?
Balogun, and
We may win the
Balogun will
league,
be
we
back
may
on
not
the
win the
roster.
league.
Yeah.
we're also
gonna
also
sell him. By the
eyeballing.
way. We're gonna sell
I
him.
think I
You think we'll sell Balogun?
Yes.
I think we'll sell
from
Eddie
Real
before we sell
Sociedad.
Oh,
him.
yeah.
How
So-
much you want to bet?
I'm not gonna bet anything. Because that's just a dumb thing to bet on.
What, selling
But-
Balogun?
Yeah.
Well, there's a push if we don't sell either, or if we sell both. But those are things. Those things
Nah,
are
I'm
gonna
just
happen.
not gonna bet.
We're gonna sell Balogun,
I think the next 5 months we are going to monitor how well Caicedo
and we're gonna get up $50 million.
and
for him.
David
Oh, yeah.
Zubimendi do for their respective teams.
Yeah.
Because Zubimendi adamantly said, "I don't want to leave because they're Sociedad is in third place
because
in,
they can
in Spain.
do something in their
In
league.
Spain.
And,
Yeah.
and third place in Spain is fucking. It's
That's
like
first
winning
place
the
in
league.
Spain.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it this way: Zubimendi and Caicedo both stayed at their club for the exact same reason.
'Cause they have a chance to do something.
In Zubimendi's case, the player made the decision. In Caicedo's case,
The
the
team
club
did.
made the
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
But they stayed at their clubs for the exact same reason because they have a chance to have quite
An
literally
historic season.
the most historic season, the best season in the entire club's history.
I'll be watching
That's
both.
what they have.
I'll be watching
yeah.
both. I kind of, given what's happened recently, I kind of hope we hire Zubimendi, given
Yeah.
what's happened.
Yeah.
You know, with Brighton and all
Well,
that shit.
I don't understand. Like, are you insinuating that we have this like bad relationship where they're pissed at us? I just don't understand why. I just don't understand why that would even be.
Well,
everything that I heard are my sources, quote unquote sources. The people I
Joey's
listen to,
inside sources.
the people I listen to whose opinions and reporting that I trust say that we have a good relationship with Brighton ever since Ben White.
It was Gunnar Blog writing for the Athletic.
Okay.
Said that.
Well, like, you know,
I
we're
didn't
not, we're
see
not
that
ripping,
because I
we're
do
not
trust
policing
Gunnar
them.
Block to be
Yeah.
just to.
He said
just to be
that
fair.
the club told us that he's not on the menu, and then Caicedo put out that Instagram post
Yeah,
that
it's
led
like,
our
all
people
right.
to be like, oh, you know, he's up for
So
it.
why are they angry at us and not angry with their player?
Right, exactly.
No,
Well,
I don't think they're angry with us. I think like they to your point, like they just couldn't let go of more people right now.
Well,
but in the summer
yeah,
it could be different.
That's fine, and they stuck to their guns. So what?
Yeah.
How have they been harmed?
Well, the
I don't think they have.
the Athletic article said that Richard Garlick, called
Dick Garlic.
up their
Wow.
professional poker playing owner
Gave my wife some of that too.
and said
Hope it doesn't smell like garlic. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm kidding.
and he said,
I
Caicedo,
just
how
showered.
about it? And he said, we told you he's not available,
Yeah.
and now you pissed me off. I mean, I don't know the exact script, but
So
you
it's
pissed
just
me off.
just being a bitch.
All right, David Stern,
I
calm
get
down.
that.
Yeah.
but this is Gunner Blog writing for the Athletic.
It's
don't
an
shoot the
executive.
messenger.
It sounds like it's an executive just being a little bitch.
Yeah, because
I get that.
If someone comes to me and says, "I will give
Sometimes
you a
I'm a
ton of
little
money
bitch
for
when my
something," I'm
feelings
not
get
Ed.
hurt.
Yeah.
Well, and to his
You
point,
just say no. It's fine.
Yeah.
to his point, his club is, they're trying to do something very important, and then also, he might have said, like, we just sold you Trossard, you greedy
Yeah.
cunt, like, you fucking, like, just because you guys had a guy get injured
but
doesn't
you
mean
act like you did us a favor.
Yeah,
But-
it's
but
like
We
they
we
gave
gave
a lot
you
of
money.
fucking money for
Yeah.
Trossard.
but it also doesn't mean that we can go
We gave
their
you
house
$29
and
million
fucking
for a
pick
player
and
that
choose,
refused to play for you.
It's not picking. Like, listen.
No, we give you stuff
Is this
for it.
enough money for this player? No. Okay. Is this enough money? No. Okay.
We'll talk to you later.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that?
Yeah.
There's
I'm
nothing.
not arguing with you. I'm not like
Yeah,
mad at you
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything. You're just telling me what you saw or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's-
I'm trying to. It
Why
feels
would
like
you be
they're
mad if you were
creating-
that
They're
executive?
creating more of a thing than this
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I don't want to discourage Gunner
on a
Blog.
very-
I met him in person
In
last year in
Baltimore, yeah.
Baltimore.
But
great,
I think-
great dude.
I think the thing is, like, if you're Brighton, I can see how you could be like, you don't want to become our Southampton.
Yeah.
Like, you want to
Yeah.
be your own club. You want to have your own identity, not Arsenal's feeder team. I
And-
kind
and
of
they're-
get that
and
a
they're
little
gonna
bit.
make They're
I
gonna make a
understand that,
shitload of money off
but
Matoma
three
this summer. They're gonna make a
players
ton of money.
doesn't make that.
No,
Also,
but like, it
build a
could
bigger
from-
stadium if you want to be a
from
bigger
their
club.
perspective. Like, if
It's a
Let's
really
see,
nice
who did
stadium.
Liverpool get from Southampton?
You've been
Nathaniel
there, so-
Klein, Dayan Lovren, Virgil van Dijk,
Well, that's the big
Sadio Mane,
Yep. And around
Adam
the-
Lallana. I think they got twice the amount of players that we would have gotten
sure,
from Brighton.
I'm not saying it's exact analogy,
More
but like,
than
you don't
twice.
want to be known as the club who lets all their guys go to this big club.
I know, but if you sell two guys to or three guys to a club, that
I know.
doesn't mean.
But
that.
like, you're coming. But the thing you got to remember is, like, they're in a little brother situation, right? Like, they want to prove, look, we can stand on our own. We are here to do a thing, not to just to develop guys.
I'm all good with that. And I
They haven't won a trophy since 1911.
But they're close to getting something.
But they're close to.
What trophy did they get?
They're close to.
Had to be an FA Cup or
It,
something.
it doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah,
It's the Packard
Intertoto trophy. They are close to leveling up as a club. So before
Yeah.
you can win
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to be competing on the fronts to
Yeah.
win
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
things. So they are close to doing a thing that they've never been able to do,
Yeah.
or since we've been alive, which is leveling up in that manner as
Yeah.
a club.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm all for what you said, and I even admire them for that. And I think that. So as a neutral, if I take out my Arsenal bias, keeping Caicedo or sticking to their
Standing firm,
guns
yeah.
was the right thing for them to have done. What I don't understand is why they are upset
Yeah.
with Arsenal. All that stuff that you said is listen, great. I admire that. Here's all we did was try to test their resolve.
Yeah.
They stood firm and we said, okay.
Yeah.
That is how the world of business works.
No, it does.
Yeah.
I'm
If you're going to be a little
Right.
fucking pussy
Yeah.
about that, then do you need to be in an executive role?
I'm gonna go a little
No.
Chris Rock and say, look, I'm not saying I support it, but I understand. Exactly.
That was about
And-
hitting a woman. That
All
was
right.
about hitting a woman when he said that.
Look, but the same thing applies. I'm not saying I would say yes,
not
we
gonna
should
hit
be
no
that
woman.
guy.
Patrice
Caicedo.
O'Neal said, I'm not going to hit no woman, but I'll mush one. You know
Hey.
what a mush is?
The Richmond
I
Gooners
was like,
podcast
bro.
would like to say that Ryan Dorf's comments are his own.
Are his own?
Representative of the Richmond
So-
Gooners podcast.
I would also never hit or mush a woman.
Yeah.
All right, so
She's
so
gotta hit me
I just
first,
looked it
like
up.
2 or 3.
Except when my wife asked for it, but that's another story.
I just
for another
looked it
day.
up. I just
There's
looked
been
it
an
up.
awful lot of Joey fucking Lisa talk on this podcast right
I
now.
just looked it up.
Yes, Will, go.
Caicedo is not even on the starting lineup. He's on the
Wow.
bench.
Really?
So that for me,
Well, you
because
know-
remember, Brighton had said to us, no, he's a key piece for us.
Because we need
Right.
him.
He's a key piece.
And now
But
they're not
also,
starting
they,
him.
you don't play him.
They sent him away
Yeah,
till
he hasn't
February
trained
1st.
for like 2
No,
days.
I know.
Sent him
Or
away.
2 weeks, rather. Yeah, that's fair.
No, it wasn't
That's
2
fair.
weeks. It was literally 4 days.
It was like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
it was.
And in our defense, even a neutral should say, but he said on Instagram, like, I know you told me that he's not up for sale, but look what he's out here saying.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
seems like he wants to be sold.
It's kind of like,
So-
that's your,
And we didn't convince him to say
Right.
that. We
No,
he
correct.
has
He
his
was
own
ready.
team.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and he
you
also
said that's
and
your
he
wife.
also
You said
was
that's your wife, but
respectful.
if she's grinding on my dick in the fucking club.
Yeah, I mean,
He was also respectful the whole time in the post too.
No, he wasn't
So,
a piece
like,
of shit about it. No.
And I guarantee, like we said earlier, like a lot of these guys, their Instagram, they don't write what's on their Instagram.
Yeah.
No, it's a dude. They
Well,
have a team.
Well,
back
his
again.
agent-
The
he
Truth
just hired a new
podcast.
agent.
He had to put on Twitter. He's like, man, we put some shit out this week on the back again. Like I did not post that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah, yeah.
just fired a new agent, and the agent came out and said, "Yeah, we helped him
Oh,
draft
that's
that
right.
statement."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know for a fact that particular statement some of it might have been his words, but we know for a fact that he had help crafting that specific
Does
statement.
that management team keep their job?
In an attempt to get this move. And listen, we tested their resolve.
Yeah.
They said no.
Yeah, it's fine.
After a while, we're like, listen, we're not going to pay any more than this. So
Right,
listen,
right.
we're going to respect. We're not going to come in for him anymore.
Then fine.
We're going to look
80,
elsewhere
80
now.
mil. I looked up his transfer mark. Like where was he last year? Some club I never heard of.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
So, for 80 mil, I would rather punt on the
Well, it doesn't
Sociedad
matter. It doesn't matter.
Or the
That
Ajax
doesn't
guy.
matter.
There's a guy at Ajax that we're also looking at. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like we watch all of them.
Yes.
And like, who wants the job?
Yeah.
It's like a reality show.
Who's going to convince us? Yeah.
Here's a big wad of money, and then
you all fight over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
wants the job? And also, like for me, just a quick spot on what you said there. I don't look at where the player was before or
I don't
whatever.
What's
As
he
far-
doing now? What
in
have you
determining-
done for
in
me
determining
lately?
his transfer value, I look at the most recent times. I look at how he's playing now, and if I believe that form is something that is just if he's having a purple patch. Is he you know what I mean? Is he Dele Alli or is he Kylian Mbappe? Right,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
are supremely talented, but one has kept up that talent over time.
Was Dele Alli
and we
talented,
saw
though?
that coming.
Yeah, he
is
was.
talented. We saw that coming, and Dele Alli is
I can't
talented,
get that anymore.
but can't keep it together long enough. Long enough to Was he though? You know the we've been working on.
No, I see your point. I guess for me, my preference would be somebody that's like a little bit of a blue chip.
I believe my eye for talent is. This is going to sound incredibly arrogant. I believe my eye for talent. I can look at a player and see that he's talented, regardless of where he's been in his past
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
or where he's.
We gave him 65 plus 5. I thought that was a very, very fair.
I thought it was good, and I thought he was going to end up at Arsenal.
Yeah, well.
I've got to be honest.
Because if they were looking, in all fairness to Edu and Richard Garlick and Arteta,
Dick Garlic, man.
we stood our ground on all this stuff. Warren Buffett infamously lost like hundreds of $1 million on Walmart because he's like, I won't pay 1 penny above whatever
it is,
the
yeah.
price was, which is the
And
only
it was
case.
fucking worth it. It's
but,
Walmart.
But the other 99 out of 100, it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think similarly, maybe this is sour grapes, but if Caicedo comes in and just stinks up the joint for the rest of the fucking summer, love it.
yeah,
Love
Yeah.
because then I'm coming back in at like 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 45.
Because
Yeah,
I believe,
shit,
and
yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of variables too. I believe that De Zerbi is a decent coach, but I believe that player under Mikel Arteta will be all world.
Sure,
I
sure.
believe that.
I mean,
But
talk about
I also
Patrick
believe
Vieira-esque.
Onana,
Yeah.
who played against us today.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance he could be better. I think there's a chance his ceiling is higher than Caicedo's.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
I also think if we had to pick one of Caicedo and Rice, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. If we had to pick one of them, I think I would maybe go with Caicedo because I think
Upside.
his potential ceiling is
Yeah.
higher than Rice's potential ceiling.
Right, we've seen
What's
Rice.
Declan
Declan
Rice-
Rice's
I-
age? What's Declan Rice's age?
I think-
26, I think.
If he's 26,
no,
then I agree.
he's not 26.
24?
Yeah, he's closer to that.
If he's 24 or just turned 25, I'm picking
Whatever
Rice.
he is, he's that until he turns the next age. But you know what I know for a fact?
He's too old for
We'd fucking run long.
Leo DiCaprio.
He's 24.
He's definitely too
Yep.
old for Leo.
I'm choosing Rice.
So,
Rice
anyway,
as well.
I told you it was going to be an unpopular opinion.
I know.
world's worst segue. Up next, we've got a rare Saturday 10 a.m. Eastern kick home to Brentford before the big midweek game against City. Coming up, Pat Gus is with us. It'll be a good time. I think we bounce back. I think we perform. We're at home. It's going to be another thing. So, until then, I am Ryan, here with Tom.
We're 14 in front, you Italian cunt.
Okay, and with Joey,
Still fucking top, bitches.
and with Will,
Yeah, Gunners, yeah.
and we will see you next weekend.